Infinity Personal Training, and today we're going to make paleo biscuits. I made these biscuits for the first time yesterday. I got the recipe off chowstalker.com and they are amazing. So let's go through the recipe, the ingredients really quick. Because we're baking, you have to make sure you use the exact amount of what I'm saying. Normally with my recipes I kind of like just say if it's about, but because we're baking you have to go with the exact. So first we're going to use 2.5 cups of almond flour. So I've already measured that out. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to work with the dry ingredients first. Then we're going to use half a teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, we're going to put that in. And this is the baking soda that we use. It's the Bob's Red Mill. That's the brand. So then we're going to use half a teaspoon of sea salt. And we're going to just quickly incorporate those. So those are the dry ingredients. Now we're going to work with the wet ingredients. So we're going to take 2 eggs. We're going to crack those in there. And of course I'm going to post the ingredients on the side of the recipe of the video. Then we're going to use 2 tablespoons of coconut milk. This is canned coconut milk. I have it in a container because I opened it yesterday. So 2 tablespoons of that. Then I have a cheat sheet next to me because it's not my recipe, but it's delicious. Then we're going to put a tablespoon of honey. I'm using raw honey. You don't necessarily have to use raw honey, but that's the one we use. So it's a little harder to get out, obviously. So just try to scrape as much as you can out. This isn't working so well. I'm going to use my fingers because Ray and I are eating these, so it's okay. He doesn't mind. Okay. Alright. Then we're going to use a half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm using the Bragg's brand. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to check. And last thing, we're using 1/4 a cup of coconut oil. You can use butter. The recipe actually says grass-fed butter or coconut oil. I can't have butter, so we're going to use coconut oil. Then we're just going to mix these together. And because I'm using the raw honey, I have to make sure there's no lumps in there. This is probably a little bit easier if you're using the liquid honey. Just want to get, there's still lumps in there. Okay, so the mixture is all liquid now, there's no lumps. And now we're going to mix the wet and dry ingredients. So the recipe says you have to mix them 1/3 at a time. So we're not going to pour this whole thing in there. We're going to mix a little bit at a time. Try to get as much of it incorporated as possible and then mix in the next part. So that's pretty much, I'm going to put a little bit more. And I'm sure there's some science behind all this with baking. I don't bake, so I don't know. I'm sure my mom could explain that to us. And why we have to do it like this. I'm just following the recipe. So it's starting to firm up a little bit more. Okay, we're going to pour a little bit more. And these are okay to have on the first 30 days. It's one of the few things you could probably have that tastes like bread that is actually okay on the first 30 days because we're making it with almond flour. Even the muffins that I have in another earlier post, those use brown rice, so technically you can't have those on the first 30 days. Alright, this is our, ooh, don't do that. This is our last little bit. Really want to incorporate them. And also I preheated the oven to 350 degrees before I started, and I also have a cookie sheet with parchment paper over here. I use unbleached parchment paper that I got at Whole Foods. parchment paper is usually white. They bleach it, and God knows what they do to it to make it white. So just get the unbleached version. Okay, so this is all incorporated. Now we're going to take a tablespoon that I lost. Here it is. And we're just going to form little dollops and put those on the parchment. And we're going to bake it for 10 to 12 minutes or until the top is golden brown. So I'm trying to make it pretty. So just like that, no bigger than that. You don't want to make it too big because then it won't cook on the inside. Alright, so I'm going to continue forming these, and then I'm just going to put them in the oven, like I said, for 10 to 12 minutes. The Paleo biscuits are all done. You can see they're golden brown. I actually cooked mine for 13 minutes. I just watched and waited till they were toasty on the top. Earlier in the video, I mentioned the 30-day program. I realized some of you guys may not be our clients. I was talking about our 30-day nutrition program. We actually cut out dairy and grains for the first 30 days, so these are a perfect substitute for bread. And also, I want to break one out. They're still hot, but you see it's kind of gooey. And yesterday it kind of worried me when I made them. But if you let them sit for like 10 minutes, they harden up and they're delicious. Just so you know, all the biscuits we made yesterday are gone. So that's how good they are. All right, that's it.